Well, Wendy, this is a copy of an internal email sent from Police Chief Cameron McClay to his officers telling them there is simply not enough money to buy them uniforms. In fact, we have learned that in that particular part of the budget, there is less than $200 to last through the year. In these stacks is a line-by-line look at police spending, a detailed account of where the money went, but not why.
We have a lot of questions about why it happened.
Or how it got so bad.
It's an accounting error.
Pittsburgh Police Chief Cameron McClay says spending more than $920,000 in 8 months, dwindling the police supplies budget down to $191, was a billing mistake that has now, according to the chief's own email, placed a hold on buying police uniforms and equipment.
That department has a budget. They need to live within it. The math isn't that complicated.
Pittsburgh Controller Michael Lamb says he doesn't see an accounting error and, in fact, warned the police bureau that they were spending too much.
I know that as of the end of July, they had spent through about 95% of their supply budget.
This is that portion of the budget which you can see not only includes uniform and ammunition purchases as well as payment for canine dog care, but also office supplies at Staples, bottled water, batteries, Comcast, Verizon, and Home Depot bills, which together, Lamb says, has put this part of the police budget on pace to be over budget.
$191 over the next 4 months is not going to last them. Even if they've stopped, you know, there are going to be expenses that have to come out of that code account.
In fact, the Bureau is required each year to buy every officer several uniforms and equipment, and it comes from that account.
Not only do they get a uniform, but they get money to maintain that uniform. And so that's written into the contract and therefore written into the budget. So the money was there.
But it isn't anymore. The chief tells me what he told his officers in this email, that he is working to reallocate funds to be able to buy the uniforms and equipment. But that takes more than simply moving money.
That takes council to approve that. So if they're going to do that, he's going to have to explain to council why they got in this situation in the first place.
Some have blamed the budget issues on money spent on furniture for police headquarters.
There were desks, there were just no walls.
Including creating these cubicles, furnishing offices, and replacing chairs.
People need furniture to sit on to do their work. We need to create workspaces for the work units that I'm developing here. And we're kind of a modest operation here, so it's certainly we're not living large in terms of the kind of money we're spending, but the one is not connected to the other.
Lamb confirms that the more than $48,000 in furniture came from another area of the police budget. But for many, that just means greater confusion over how the department got here and how they'll get out. We have learned that the city has now moved an assistant finance director into the police bureau to help. But for now, the chief says police officers will have to make do with the uniforms and equipment they already have.
There's not a lot of extra money laying around any place.
Until they find a way to turn $191 into enough money to last through December. And the controller tells me the only way to do that is by appealing to council and asking for permission to move money. And Lamb says we should expect that appeal to happen soon. Live at Pittsburgh Police Headquarters, Marcy Cipriani, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.